Chris O'Dowd, Tom Sturridge, thanks once again for speaking to us here at entertainment.ie.
No problem. Big fan of the site.
So I heard, yeah. It's
a second favourite.
Second favourite website. Yeah,
ChrisO'Dowd.org.
There you go.
Okay, congratulations on the movie, which I saw for the first time on Monday evening.
Thanks, John.
You must be very happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's looking really, really good.
Yeah.
I think it's very fun, very music-filled, and a lot of hot talent. A lot of talent.
Yeah. A lot of hot talent, that's true.
A lot of hot talent.
And what was it that brought you, or interested you in the movie in the first place? The script, or working with the cast, or
the big
working
Dickie
with Richard
Curtis?
Curtis?
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all about the cash.
The big Dick Curtis, you know.
Yeah.
He's done a few things in his time, and they always seem to kind of go well. I was a big Blackadder fan, huge Four Weddings fan, so I was interested in working with him. And then I heard there was this new bloody kid on the block, a guy called Tom Sturridge, and I thought I'd like to work with that guy. You know, $1 million smile, and luckily it's
a dream come true. So you have to do interviews with him now and occasionally stroke him on the thigh.
I get to do that, and he can't say anything about it.
Yeah, on camera at least. Yeah.
Can't call the police.
And Tom, what about you? Aside from working with Chris, obviously.
I mean, to be honest, it was solely working with Chris.
Solely working.
But I'll invent something else. No, I mean it's the same reasons. Like to work with Richard, to work with people like Philip Seymour Hoffman, Nick Frost, Ken Branagh, Bill Nye. Just to be a part of that crew.
Right. Yeah. And there is it's an ensemble cast. There's a lot of people in there, and a lot of very talented and funny people as well. What was it like? I mean, a lot of Catherine from the IT crowd is in there as well, and what was it like adding like an Oscar winner, like Philip Seymour Hoffman, to the mix? Did that, because I believe he only joined maybe a couple of weeks after you'd started shooting.
Yeah,
so you might have had these little cliques or
late.
whatever, and then you throw an Oscar winner into the mix.
Yeah, he
didn't let us forget he was an Oscar winner.
Oh my God. He would do this thing which I always found a little odd, where if you're doing a scene with him and you've shot his single and then it'll be your single, he'll have the Oscar and he'll just kind of wave it at you, like, because he's slightly off camera. So what he's suggesting is that whatever you're doing will never be as good as what I did to get this. And then he had made little hats and booties and things for
the Oscar.
You can't get it cold. They don't age well,
because
those
they're naked,
things.
you know. And he would change the clothes mid-scene, regardless of And Richard would be like, "It looks weird that you're changing clothes on an Oscar because it's
not period.
It's not period."
Yeah, you can't make eye contact.
It makes everybody know that you're an actor, and that this is all. You're really breaking down the fourth wall. But you know what Phil said? He said,
"Did he?"
But that was Phil.
That's our Phil.
No, he's an incredibly gregarious and charming man.
And just the shooting of the film, you shot on a soundstage, I assume, for the interiors. And
yeah.
How much time did you actually spend on a ship?
We sort of did half in the studio and half on the ship, kind of 6 weeks each, 5 or 6 weeks each. But I mean, working on the boat itself was amazing. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's kind of insulting to people who do real jobs to call it work. Like, we'd go out on the ocean every morning listening to beautiful music, and I remember Nick fishing a lot, and people filmed it.
Yeah. And how do you
They didn't film Nick fishing.
That DVD coming out next summer. Frost Goes Fishing, it's called.
It's a really good film.
Yeah, some good herring in it.
Chris, how do you prepare for a film like this? It's essentially a period piece. I mean, how did you immerse yourself in the world of 1960s music, or were you in there already?
I would have been a big fan of the music at the time anyway.
Yeah.
So I would have had a fairly good grounding on what kind of stuff that we would be playing. But then we were lucky in that there was an awful lot kind of written and recorded from pirate radio at the time, from Caroline and Radio Scotland, Radio London and Luxembourg, all of those kind of things. So I played the breakfast jock in the picture. Wow, in the picture. Said,
yeah, it's just a serious film. Call it that.
In the motion picture.
Yeah,
that's what Anthony Hopkins says.
Well, me and Tony. So I found out who the breakfast jock was on those, and it was kind of Tony Blackburn, and so I listened to a lot of his stuff just to get the tone and the taste of it right, and worked on the voice. Listened to a bit of Larry Gogan,
as you do,
and a bit of Tony Fenton. That kind of transatlantic drawl that people have mastered. It's quite fun to do.
Of course. And Tom, what can you tell me about your character, Carl?
He's not a DJ. He's sent by his mother to live with his godfather, essentially, who, by happy chance, is the kind of impresario of the boat, of the pirate radio ship. And so, he's basically sent to live with his godfather to kind of become a man or to sort his life out.
Right.
And he kind of does.
He's kind of like the eyes of the audience,
Yeah, the heart of the piece, maybe. Or
Absolutely,
yeah. And as I touched on earlier, Chris, it must have been nice to have Catherine Parkinson on set. Was there any healthy rivalry or?
Oh God, like it's a thing that we work together a lot.
Yeah, of course.
And she finds that it just makes her work look better.
When she's around you, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it was great having Catherine around because when you're thrown into a whole group of people that you don't really know, it's nice to have somebody to kind of go, okay, well, they're always there. I see. And we're never. There's no rivalry though. There's no line stealing. Although that would have made your character a lesbian, but yeah, no, that would have been weird. We couldn't really steal each other's lines, but no, I mean it was great. I really like Catherine's brilliant at what she does. So it's always nice working with people who you respect.
So it must have been easier to sort of get yourself into this creative moment because there was just something there that you were so familiar with before.
She's generally in the background farting while I'm
Right, yeah. And speaking of, what's the story with the latest or the next season of the IT Crowd? Are we?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think the plan is for us. Everybody's kind of busy at the moment, but Graham has started writing, and I imagine what we'll do is maybe do a Christmas special during the summer, and then hopefully try and do another series at the end of the year or the start of next year.
Oh, okay. That
should be great. We're definitely going to try and do another one.
Excellent. Chris, just a little bit of trivia for you. I mean, as the film, the film is loosely based on Radio Caroline.
Yeah.
And did you know that? Well, I assume you did because you're a former member of the UCD Literal or the Literary and Historical Society. But Radio Caroline was founded by an Irish fella called Ronan O'Rahilly, whose grandfather was.
Oh, I don't know.
He was one of the leaders of the 1916 Rising, and Caroline was launched on Easter Monday, 1964.
You're kidding?
So the rebellious sort of nature of the
was that
of the station. I assume it was, or just a series of.
How amazing! Well, who was it?
Who was what?
The grandfather.
Which one?
Oh, I did. O'Rahilly, someone. I don't remember the first name.
Oh, right, okay.
Or someone. Maybe it's not. I didn't. That's where I kind of stopped researching. But
wow, that's really interesting.
So you didn't know that. So you can throw that into your next interview.
I will.
You'll appear very intelligent.
The fact that there's an Irish voice kind of rambling on the ship, I think is something due to the fact that Ronan O'Rahilly was the kind of original impresario.
Yeah.
And I think that was Richard's slight nod to that.
Right. Yeah. And Tom, how familiar were you with the likes of the pirate radio boom?
I really wasn't. I mean, at all. I learned everything about the history after I got the job and when I'm reading the script. I mean, my kind of notion of pirate radio is, drum and bass in some estate flat in South London.
Drum and bass.
I do love it.
Skills. Loves it. Do some of your drum and bass.
Not now.
All right.
I think you should.
I can't.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll do the drums. You do the bass.
You do both, and I'll listen. Let's go.
That's impressive stuff.
That's coming to a store near you.
Just speaking of what's coming up in the future from you, Tom, you've got something coming up with Rachel Bilson, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, a film called Waiting for Forever. She's very beautiful.
Have you shot that yet?
Yeah, I just finished it.
And do you know when it's coming out?
Have you shot that yet? Oh no, you're not talking about Rachel Bilson. I thought it was like an innuendo.
That's how the kids speak these days.
Okay.
What? Sorry? Yes, it's coming out. It is coming out, I think. Soon. The fall, I think they call it in America.
The fall, okay. Yeah. Autumn over here, I believe. And Chris, yourself, what's on the horizon?
In a few weeks' time, I start shooting a film called Gulliver's Travels.
Oh.
With Jack Black playing Gulliver, and I play the baddie.
The baddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Edward Edwardian.
So you're sort of retreating and finding your dark side.
I am.
Prepare. This is your Joker, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. No, I mean it's a comedy, so it'll be a comedy baddie.
A comedy baddie.
So he'll just have horns.
That's good to know.
Just turn up late and stuff.
That's pretty evil, turning up late.
Yeah.
Punctuality.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll wrap it up. Listen, thanks a million, guys, and I hope the film goes really well and gets all the success that it deserves.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.